Hello students, in this video I will discuss Faraday's laws of electrolysis. As we know that during electrolysis of an electrolytic compound, some chemical reactions are taking place at cathode and anode. For example, if we dissolve sodium chloride in water, then in water sodium chloride gives sodium cation and chloride anion. Okay, hydrogen ion and hydroxyl ion up to certain extent, up to a limited extent we get from water, as water is a weak electrolyte. So when we pass electric current through aqueous solution of sodium chloride, then cations and anions will go to respective electrodes and some chemical reactions will take place there. At cathode, either sodium ions or hydrogen ions will go. If sodium ions will go, then these ions, after accepting electron from the cathode, deposited in the form of sodium metal. Or if hydrogen ions will go, then these ions, after accepting electron from the cathode, give hydrogen gas. Out of these two cations, sodium cation and hydrogen cations will go first and they give hydrogen gas at cathode. Out of chloride ion and hydroxide ion, only chloride ion will go to anode and give chlorine gas at anode. That means we can say that after electrolysis, after chemical reactions at cathode and anode, some mass either get deposited or liberated at electrodes, means at cathode or anode. So Faraday's law gave a relation between deposited or liberated mass at electrode and charge that is passing through the electrolytic cell. Similarly, if we keep a copper sulfate solution in electrolytic cell, then copper ions will go to cathode and these copper ions, after accepting 2 electrons, converted to copper atom, and these copper atoms are deposited at cathode in the form of metal. So copper mass is deposited at cathode after passing electric current through this electrolytic cell. So let us discuss Faraday's first law. According to this law, the amount of substance deposited during electrolysis is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity passed. So if mass is represented by m, then m is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity which is represented by q, or we can write it like that, m is equals to zq. Okay, where z is called as proportionality constant and it is also called as electrochemical equivalent of the substance. So it can also be written as m is equals to zit, where q is equals to it. Q is the charge which is equals to current multiplied by time. So if q is 1 coulomb means 1 ampere of current is passing through the solution for 1 second, then from above equation we can write m equals to z. Okay, when q becomes equals to 1, that is it becomes equals to 1, so m becomes equals to z. So electrochemical equivalent is the mass of any substance which is deposited when 1 coulomb of charge is passing through the solution. Now next is Faraday's second law of electrolysis. According to this law, when same quantity of electricity is passed through different electrolytic solutions which are connected in series, then the weight of the substances produced at the electrodes are directly proportional to their chemical equivalent weights. Okay. So if we connect 3 electrolytic cells containing copper sulfate, silver nitrate and sulfuric acid, if we connect these 3 electrolytic cells in series and when we pass current, the same quantity of charge will pass through these cells. So according to second law, that the mass deposited at their electrodes m is directly proportional to their chemical equivalents. So m proportional to E. where m is the deposited mass and E is the chemical equivalent of the substance. In another way, it can also be written as the weight of copper deposited divided by weight of silver deposited, if we consider these two electrolytic cells. So weight of copper deposited proportional to its equivalent weight. Weight of silver deposited is proportional to equivalent weight. Or it can also be written as weight of copper deposited upon weight of silver deposited is equals to equivalent weight of copper upon equivalent weight of silver, as these are directly proportional to each other. Okay. So if we consider all these three cells, we get hydrogen gas from sulfuric acid electrolytic cell, copper from copper sulfate cell, and silver metal from silver nitrate cell. So the masses deposited at respective cathodes are 131.78 and 107.88 gram, and these are their equivalent weight also. So the mass deposited are directly proportional to their chemical equivalent weight. Now if M1 and M2 are the deposited amount of any two electrolytes in the above series, and E1 and E2 are their equivalent weights respectively, then we can write M1 upon E1 is equals to M2 upon E2, just as we have seen about copper and silver. Or it can also be written as M1 upon M2 is equals to E1 upon E2. Okay. Now from the Faraday's first law, M is equals to ZIT or WIT. At the place of M1 we can write W1IT, and at the place of M2 we can write W2IT. So from equation 1, equation 2 can be written, and from equation 2 we can say that W is proportional to E. That is Faraday's law, W proportional to E or Z proportional to E, or it can be written as E equals to ZQ. Thus electrochemical equivalent, this Z, of any substance is proportional to equivalent weight of the substance. Okay, E and Z are proportional to each other. Now practically it has been seen that if 1 ampere current is passed through the solution for 1 second, then actual mass deposited of silver, copper and hydrogen are these: 0.01180 gram of silver, 0.0003296 gram of copper, and 0.4 times 0.1036 gram of hydrogen gas is deposited. Okay. Now these amounts are known, their respective electrochemical equivalents. These are electrochemical equivalent. So the quantity of electricity Q required to deposit 1 gram equivalent of silver, then from equation E equals to ZQ, Q can be calculated. Q is equals to E upon W. E is what? Equivalent weight of silver, which is 107.88, and W is what? Electrochemical equivalent of silver, which is 0.001180. Okay, so this gives 96,493 Coulomb. Okay, so this 96,493 Coulomb of electricity would yield 1 gram of equivalent of silver or 1 gram equivalent of any substance. This quantity of charge is known as 1 Faraday, and it is denoted by symbol F. Therefore, we can define 1 Faraday as this is the quantity of charge which deposits or liberates 1 gram equivalent of substance. Now 1 Faraday is taken as equals to 96,500 coulombs. Let us see its calculation once again. If 1 ampere current is passed through an electrolyte whose equivalent weight is E for t second, then the liberated amount can be represented by this formula: M is equals to ITE upon F after passing 1 Faraday of charge. Okay. Now equation 4 can be used to measure the electric current. An apparatus used for this purpose is known as coulometer of or voltmeter. Now 1 Faraday charge is actually the charge on 1 mole of electrons. Okay, 1 mole of electron means number of electrons are 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 equals to Avogadro number. Since charge on 1 electron is 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 9 coulomb, then charge on these electrons can be calculated by multiplying these two quantities, which comes out equals to 96,500 coulomb. Thus, it is proved that by passing 96,500 coulomb of charge, 1 gram equivalent of any substance can be deposited or liberated. Let us discuss some problems related to Faraday's laws of electrolysis. First is, if a current of 0.5 ampere flows through a metallic wire for 2 hours, then how many electrons would flow through the wire? So what is given to us? Current I 0.5 ampere, it is given to us. Time 2 hours given to us. So if we convert this 2 hour into seconds, then it comes out as 7200 seconds. So time is given as 7200 seconds. By using formula Q is equals to IT, we can find out charge, which is equals to 3600 coulomb. Okay. Now to find out the number of electrons, we will start with our concept. Then 96,487 coulomb means number of electrons are equals to Avogadro number, that is 1 mole of electron. So in 3600 coulomb of charge, number of electrons can be calculated by using this formula, which comes out is equals to 2.25 to 10 to the power 22. Okay, 3600 coulomb contain number of electrons 2.25 into 10 to the power 22. Now second problem is, consider the reaction. This, what is the quantity of electricity in coulomb needed to reduce 1 mole of Cr2O7 minus ion? Okay. Now according to this equation, 6 electrons are required. 6 electron means 6 Faraday. Okay. So 6 multiplied by 96,487 coulomb gives this much amount of coulomb. That means this much coulomb of charge is required, or this much coulomb of electricity is required to reduce 1 mole of dichromate ions. So this is all about this video. In my next video, I will discuss about electrochemical cell and some terms related to this cell. Thank you.